Hi, I'm Karen. We're here at Montevilla Sewing Center, and today we're talking about the Janome Skyline S7. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do stitch combinations. Now, stitch combinations are like this, where you have lettering and stitches. You can also have entire lines of stitches. You can do either way, but in this video we're going to talk about the combinations. Okay, so to get started, you want to make sure and use your F foot. Now the F foot has a channel down the bottom of it, so that when you're doing stitches, most of your decorative stitches have a lot of thread, and your lettering also stitches back and forth across those letters multiple times to make them nice and bold. So you want that to flow evenly right underneath the foot. So we're going to go ahead and change our foot. Put that right up there like this. Okay, there we go, got it on. All right. Now another thing you want to do is use a stabilizer. Now here I've done a stabilizer, just a regular zigzag without stabilizer and with stabilizer. Now the stabilizer is this stiff material similar to interfacing, but it's not quite the same thing. It's actually meant to make your stitches nice and flat. Now this happens to be a tearaway stabilizer. There's also cutaway and washaway stabilizer. A tearaway stabilizer, you can tear that away, and it leaves a little bit of the stitches, the stabilizer in the stitches, which will help keep it flat when you go to wash it. Okay, so we want to use the stabilizer. Let me actually take some of that off of there. And then, let's go over here. Your decorative stitches, okay, this is how your machine's going to wake up when it's just in regular straight sewing, okay. Your decorative stitches are right here, and these are the groups of stitches which correspond to the groups of stitches up here. So everything after buttonhole, it's right there. And so we can choose different ones based on that. And then you also have your lettering stitches, which are right here. You have your block letters, which can be lowercase, uppercase. You can have your block letters be full size, which is 7 millimeters, or slightly smaller. And then you've got your script letters, which is kind of like just real fine printing or something. With this, you probably want to have a finer thread that's shows up better, like your rayon embroidery thread is really good for that. And then, let's go back here to block letters. Block letters, oops, I'm going to erase that. What I need to do is just get rid of this. By the way, if you want to erase something, there's a little garbage can thing that deletes what you have. Just press and hold. And another thing about your screen, when you touch it, if it doesn't immediately give you a response, just touch it longer. Remember, longer, not harder, okay? So to erase that, go up here. So block letters. Nice thing about the block letters, even though you don't have the option of doing lowercase, you can do uppercase a little bit higher than the lowercase. So I'm going to spell out Janome here, and then we're going to go smaller, A-N-O-M-E. And then if you touch this field here, it shows you what that looks like right there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of all of that. Just press and hold. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to also show you about mirroring. So let's get into this here. I'm going to use, in the long stitches, right over here, I'm going to use this one right here. Okay, so if I put a second one of those there, you don't see anything here until you get into the big view. That's what it looks like. So I'd like to turn this one over. I'll show you how to do that. You move, these are your cursor arrows here. So I'm going to here. Whichever stitch is now highlighted, in this case it's in the blue, you can turn that one over. So now this is what you're going to have. These are going to repeat, so you have a nice line of stitches. There are many stitches that lend themselves to this, but you want stitches that join right here in the middle for the mirroring to work well. Okay, so I'm going to take that out of there. Now, lettering, let's get into lettering again. So let's do our regular 7mm block letters. I'm going to spell out kitty. K, lowercase, I-T-T-Y. And that's what it's going to look like. Well, let's go up to pictograph here. Let's say we want to put a little kitty cat on either side of that. Okay. So now we can go into page forward till we get to pictograph. Page forward until we find that little kitty. There we go. Got that kitty right there. Well, we want to have a kitty on the both sides of that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my cursor, and when you have a blue letter, you can insert a letter or a stitch right before that. So that's what it looks like right there. Okay, I'm going to get out of that. Well, my little kitties, what if I want to have them facing towards the center? I can do that too, using the mirror key, using this mirror key. So I'm going to go over. By the way, the letters cannot be turned over this way or this way. So that's why they're grayed out when we're on letters. But when we go up to symbols or individual stitches, now we can turn this guy around. So that's what it's going to look like. Kind of cute, huh? Okay, so we're going to get out of that, and I'm going to go forward because I'm going to put a kitten right here. Well, how do we do that? So I'm going to just choose this little guy right here, and we go back here. Using the adjustment keys, I can make him shorter and narrower. There. So you can do all these kind of things here. So what if we wanted to put a space between that cat and that cat? Maybe they don't get along really well, but they kind of get along, but we want to put a space there. Okay, so remember what I said. The highlighted key, if you want to put a anything on this side of it, right before it, that's where it's going to end up. So I'm going to go to what's called bridge stitches. Bridge stitches are stitches that you can put between one stitch and another. I'm going to put, I'm going to put one and maybe one more. Okay, here we go. That's one. Oh, they're a little bit too far apart. Okay, so I'm going to go back. Make sure if you're going to erase something, you don't want to have it highlighted. I mean, that the one that you don't want to erase highlighted. So I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to get rid of that one right there. There we go. So there's lots of fun things that you can do this way. Now, bridge stitches can also be used on stitches that don't join at the bottom. Maybe they join in the middle. But in the case of stitch number 10, they can also join at the top. So what I'm going to do is, let me get out of that. Let's just go forward a little bit here. I'm going to put stitch number 10, so I'm going to go into Decorative Stitches. That's pictograph. Okay, pictograph right there, and find this one here. So I've got one of these here. If I wanted to have a second one of those, which I could do, but I want to stitch right there between this group and that group, what I can do is go back, go to bridge stitches, here, and this time I choose number 5. And I see how it has a 2. That means it's going to put 2 stitches in there, but it will adjust based on where you want, where the join is between those two. All right. Well, it doesn't show it on that, but it will adjust to make it so that it will line up here. The picture is not quite as good as the how it actually is going to stitch out. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of those two because I'm going to show you about the memory. So remember, we have this nice little thing here. If you want to save this, you go over here to memory, so that little folder thing, and there are folders. You're going to save a file in the folder. So you can have as many folders, a lot of folders if you want, but I'm going to just use the folder that's already there. And then I'm going to title it. So you type that right there, and I'm going to call it Kitty. That way, if I see it in a list of files, I can go straight to the one that says Kitty, and that's the one I'm bringing up. I-T-T-Y. Here we go. And of course, if you misspell something, you can always use the delete key to spell it correctly. Once you got that, make sure you push OK. Also, you want to push OK here too. If you simply push X, you're going to not save the file. You want to make sure and save the file. Okay, so back into this. And if I was going to get back into lettering again, notice there's nothing in that field. So how do we get it back out of memory? I'm going to go like this, go here, choose the one that says kitty, and there we've got it. It's in the machine. Even if you turn off your machine, you'll be able to retrieve that. Now, if you want to get rid of something that's in your memory, go to here, go to this, and then you're going to push that button right there. When that's highlighted, you can go to this. It'll say, give you a window saying, are you sure you want to delete this file? Yes, I do. And there we go. It's gone now. So if I went to find something in the folder, but there's nothing in there, it will give me that quick beep and say no file to show. All right. So one more thing I'm going to show you about the lettering is that you can put spaces. Say you have a first name and a last name. I already showed you the bridge stitches, but let's see. I'm going to B-A-B-Y. I'm going to spell Baby Jane. Okay. Now I want to put a space between baby and Jane. I'm going to use this one here. Now you can have a short space, long space, or medium size. A medium is good for me. Right there. J, A, N, B. That's what we got. So you can make your own little quilting labels and decorate them with decorative stitches on either side. Just make sure you use a tear-away or a wash-away stabilizer. Probably in quilting labels, you want to use a wash-away or a tear-away. For things that are like garments, a wash-away is good because then it will just have the thread that remains in that stitch. That's your basic stitch combinations. If you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up. And if you have comments or questions, you can leave those in the area down below. We have lots of other videos, including on this machine, here on our YouTube website, or our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.